Happy Friday, everybody. It's Feedback Friday. Glad to be here with you, Matt Helbig. What's up, my man?
I'm excited to be back again. Another Friday, another Feedback Friday.
Awesome. Well, today I've got queued up YNAB, which is a completely strange name for a brand, but it sticks. It is noticeable, and it means you need a budget.
This episode is sponsored by Influence. From subject lines to pre-header text, call to action button placement, email content, header images, and more, you can test up to 5 versions of an email with the Influence marketing platform. Get a demo at the link below.
I've signed up for YNAB before, but I am now cohabitating with my girlfriend, and we need a budget. YNAB. I signed up for these folks again, and lo and behold, they have a fantastic onboarding series. So it's a 14-day trial. And they started to pump me full of these how to think about budgeting, how to think about YNAB emails. We're only going to go through 3 today, but they are fantastic. You should sign up for YNAB just for the onboarding series, if nothing else. It's pretty nice. Great content, great illustrations. These illustrations just really come through. This is not in order. Really doesn't do service unless you see the entire thing. But they do a really nice job of making this content very easy to read, really easy to scan, and follow through with very simple text, CTAs like a look-see now, and this connection to the team, getting to know Kelly, who's a teacher at YNAB. So this is one example, very simple, right? But just look at how easy this is on the eyes, and how consistent the typography is, etc. Also, this really nice little hand-drawn signature, which I think adds a lot. But look at this. They're able, using this templating sort of arrangement, whether it's a design system, an email design system, or if it is something a little more akin to just custom templates, they do a nice job. Look at the YNAB logo, changes. The background color changes. Illustration style is the same. So these are custom illustrations that they've had done. You can even see this tiny little YNAB trophy. It's got that there. That's really cute. It feels like something really fantastic. So they tell me, what am I going to learn today? All right, budgeting can change my life for the better. All right, getting my attention. This is a unique sort of call out. I guess some people could confuse that as a button, but I think because they don't round the corners, it really is here's where we want your attention to be. Hey there, okay. YNAB wins come in all shapes and sizes, sweet. And then they use different colored text, which is really unique to show this off. Normally, I wouldn't be a fan of that, but because it's so simple, otherwise, because they keep things so simple, and because the email itself is very colorful, they really get me to pay attention to these check marks. The color does a job. Some people will choose color just because it's, oh, neat, I like color. No, don't do that. The color here is saying, look at me, now look at me, now look at me. They do blue here, and this is blue for links, but I think that because of the lack of underline, it's called out as unique and different, and I think it works. So I'm pretty impressed. I really like how this comes together. I think this is pretty tight. The mobile styles are really clean, easy to scan, easy to read. Let's look at this last one. They change it up again, right? It's same kind of illustrations, what you'll learn today, and they keep them short too. This is not long form email stuff. But I can go and read another story about how Oscar and Jamie are doing grocery shopping where they're using YNAB. And I can see a video. Okay, cool. I can dive in on these other sections. And I'm feeling guided by Kelly, which feels great. Just a little bit of sort of product onboarding to say, hey, at any time, I can jump into paying for the service. I think they've done a really neat job of moving between these really flexible templates and displaying information in an extremely digestible way. There's not much to these emails, and so it focuses on content. But think about what these emails would look like without the illustrations. They'd be pretty boring. They'd still do a job, but they are so much more engaging with these colors and with the illustration changes. And then with this signature and the face, that all adds up to create a really warm series. The entire time, I was totally impressed. You hear me talk about design golf all the time. They do a good job of keeping the email simple. So you've got one heading, one subheading, that same subheading, but now with a yellow background, and then one body text that's just all the same. And that's consistent throughout. The only thing that they change up here is colors with the list elements. But again, it works because everything else is different throughout. The only thing that I might do to change these, and I'm curious what you'd say, Matt, but is I think that maybe they could do a CTA at the end that would be like, are you ready to start your trial? Let's get going. They make these emails about text and guessing maybe they've tried that. So those are some things that I think about. And then of course, they're really showing off their social down here. And we all know how I feel about wanting to see social, which of course we need to do on our emails if I'm going to be such a hard ass about that. So anyway, what do you think, Matt? You think these are working?
Yeah, there's a lot of different email trends sort of going on, those rounded corners. I think this card-like design is one of my favorite ways to read email. I think it adds an extra touch and makes it feel like really engaging. I think the hey there across all these is nice. I wonder if they meant to say your name, like hey Matthew or something, and maybe this is a fallback. It seems sort of set up to sort of highlight your name. So I'm interested in that. I think this one is probably my favorite example with the check marks. I think we love to see check marks to kind of let you scan that information really easily, when there's a lot of, testimonials or things that you need to get done. And then I think with the signature and the photo on every email is a little too much. I think maybe the first couple ones, but I do agree with your sort of guiding principle. So maybe that's something that they've tested. Because sometimes we only see one or the other. But really having both in place, maybe that makes it feel a little bit more personal and guides you along this journey.
Right. What if anything, would you change, or do you think that might be something that they could test?
I think I do agree with your CTA example. These actually look similar to some other like educational apps that I've gotten, and they kind of have that clear CTA of the one action that they want you to do next. I think these onboarding emails are pretty nice, but maybe that call to action could be a little more direct. Get back into the product or start setting your budget or something like that. Maybe is a little bit more of a clear direction. Sometimes if you're going to tell me someone's name, like, can I get in contact with them? Like, how can they help me? If you're struggling with the product, I know they have that contact support link in the footer, which is nice, but maybe there's like some other email where, are you having trouble with getting started or something? How can we help you? And maybe they can contact you with someone else. So.
Good ideas, as always. Well, thank you, YNAB. Good work. I really appreciate it. And if you're interested or anybody knows anybody at YNAB would like to tell us more about how these emails are performing, we would love to know. We'd love to share that. We'd love to get more people exposure to YNAB. It's a cool brand, doing cool stuff. As usual, leave comments in the YouTube thread. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we can continue to provide you with updated, good content, even really good content.
Cool.
And we'll be back next Friday.
Sounds good. See ya.
Awesome. Bye-bye.
Thanks again to Influence for sponsoring this episode. Book your demo with the link in the video description.